Back now with the latest news on home prices in San Diego County. The median cost dropping yet again for now the 7th consecutive month. Experts are citing higher interest rates as a contributing factor, and KUSI Real Estate contributor Jim Bottrell is here now to weigh in on what he thinks about the latest news. Jim, thanks for being here tonight.
Hey, Hunter, how you doing?
Doing well. I mean, these prices and the latest news, I mean, what are you getting from this? Are you seeing the higher interest rates as reasons for yet another drop?
No, absolutely. Interest rates are what's causing the prices to go down, but you also have to remember that interest rates are why the prices went up in the first place, or a big reason. Let me explain real quick. I'll give a background on it. When a person decides they want to buy a house, one of the first things they're going to do is they're going to go talk to a mortgage lender. And that mortgage lender is going to take all their finances, and they're going to calculate and call that person back and say, hey, go ahead and buy a house up to X dollars. Now, that's what the lender says, but in reality, what they're doing behind the scenes is they're actually calculating their finances into a payment. And then what they're doing is they're taking that payment and reverse engineering that into a purchase price, because houses are sold on purchase price, not on payment. I gave you guys a graph, if you can pull it up. I'll show you the relationship between what interest rates do for payments. So for example, right now, and I'm not quoting any interest rates, I'm not quoting any payments, this is for demonstration purposes. If you were to go back in 2019 when interest rates were about 5%, let's say you had a payment of $5,000. The lender says you're good to go for a payment of $5,000. They reverse engineer that using then interest rate of 5%, and they'd say, hey, go buy a house for $775,000. And then as interest rates went down to 4, all the way down to 2.5 at the end of 2021, they would take that same $5,000, reverse engineer that using 2.5% and say, go buy $1 million house. So you can see how the lower interest rate would put more demand on the higher price houses, and you have more demand that pushes the prices up. That also works in reverse. So we've gone from that 2.5 through the 4 through the 5, and now mostly what I'm seeing these days is a 6.5% interest rate, which that same $5,000 payment would now the lender would tell you go buy a house at $675,000. So you can see that those sellers at that $850 price, that $1 million price, they lost their buyer, so they have less demand on their house, and therefore that's why prices go down. And you can see if we get to 9%, you can see what that does there too.
I mean, it's a fascinating thing to watch. Of course, one that so many were wondering how this was all going to shake out as we saw us get to the other side of the pandemic. I mean, certainly a major shift in what these prices are. But I mean, when you hear things like predictions that we are one of 4 markets likely to see the biggest price declines in 2023, I mean, what do you take from that? Do you agree with that? And what do you see happening here in San Diego specifically?
Yeah, well, I read that article, that Goldman Sachs article, and I will tell you, I think they're nuts. I read all the articles, I watch the YouTubers, and I watch all those things, because it's what I do for a living. I have to be educated. And all those people that are saying that San Diego is heading into devastation, they all have one common reason as to why San Diego is going to be devastated. And it's because housing prices have gone up so much. That's all they say. So their economic theory is gravity.
And what are you predicting? What are you predicting on the side then of what's going to happen? So you're saying that they're just not understanding maybe the specifics here of our region?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're exactly right. The economic theory, I'm sorry, I don't subscribe to gravity as an economic theory. Physics, yes, but economics, no. I mean, economics is supply and demand, it's inputs and outputs, population fluctuations, job market, the cost of money. It's not gravity. That's ridiculous. So there's a lot of things happening here in San Diego. So if you want my prediction, what's going on, I'll give it to you.
What do you think for 2023?
Yeah, so what I've seen so far in 2023 is I've seen very, very few homes for sale. I mean, almost none. It's ridiculous. But the thing is, those people, they're sitting on that 2 or 3% interest rate. They don't want to give it up. You know, as I said before, they're dug in like an Alabama tick. They're not letting that interest rate go. I used to love my home, but now I love my interest rate. So very, very few houses for sale. Now, interesting enough is we have a ton of demand here in San Diego County. Riverside County, not so much. San Diego County, absolutely. So we've been seeing on both our buy and list sides is we're seeing a lot of houses going with multiple offers. We're seeing them go over asking price. And we just had a cash buyer miss out offering $100,000 over asking price cash, and he wasn't even on the podium. He didn't even get a bronze.
Wow.
All right, so we're still seeing that demand. So yes, there's less demand this year than there was the same time last year, but there's so few houses for them that's actually propping up the prices. So my prediction is it all depends on interest rates. If interest rates stay stable, that 6.5% or below, then I think we've probably already seen the bottom of this. I mean, people, just like we got used to $5 gas, people are getting used to 6.5% interest rates. On the other hand, if interest rates go up, then we will see more price declines. And you notice none of my predictions have anything to do with gravity.
I was going to point that out for you. I am not a money expert, but I did hear and I did understand that. You are so good at being able to break it down for people like me. And again, we are going to be very interested to see how this seems to shake out, as you mentioned, as we closely watch those interest rates making such a big difference. All right, Jim Bottrell for us. Thanks so much, Jim. Hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too.
Bye.